One of the cool things about summertime is you want to grill out all the time. And when you start grilling out, you want variations of things more than just burgers or hot dogs or steaks, right? So I want to give you some really cool tips that we can do for summer, and one of those is cooking some vegetables. Now, a lot of us are used to cooking some veggies on the grills. You know, maybe they'll grill off some carrots or some asparagus or something. I want to show you something that just adds tons of flavor. It's a little different. It's actually a little intimidating for some folks. I want to show you how easy it is to take artichokes and turn them into something really, really cool. So we're going to start by just cutting off the top of these artichokes. Going to open up the inside a little bit for us. I'm also going to take the bottom section of these, just the last row of leaves or so. Anything that's smaller or kind of already separating, you want to go ahead and pull those back. There's not going to be any meat on those. I'll explain the anatomy of an artichoke in a second, and you'll understand why that's important. Now we're going to take our shears. What I want to do with these artichokes is I want to take all the little sharp edges and I just want to cut them off. You're going to be pulling these out when you eat them, and if we don't cut them off, you run the risk of poking yourself. It's a real easy process, just kind of go in rounds, cut off all the ones you see. There's nothing on this that you're going to be eating anyway, so you don't run the risk of ruining anything that is actual artichoke meat, if you will. Just all the sharp tips have to come off. A good pair of kitchen shears really makes this easier. All right, we're all good there. All right, due to the fact that artichokes are grown in the ground, I probably should verify that fact, but I'm pretty sure they're grown in the ground. We're gonna take these artichokes and we're just gonna go ahead and soak them in a bowl of cold water. Now we do that mainly because we wanna get all the sand out of them that may be inside of them from being grown. So I just kind of take my hands, separate these leaves just a little bit, and then go ahead and put them cut side down into the water for about 5 or 10 minutes. If they want to float like this little guy does, use something in there to just weigh them down. You know, take a pair of shears or a knife or something and just kind of hold them down in the water so they don't float. And you leave them that way for 5 or 10 minutes, get all the sand out of them, and we're going to cut them open. We're going to throw them on the steamer to get them real loosened up. Right, now that these artichokes have soaked and gotten a lot of that dirt out of them, we're going to go ahead and pull them back and we're going to steam them. Now the purpose of steaming them is to tenderize them. You're going to know they're fully tender when you can poke a knife into the stem, or you can pull off one of the leaves and they're nice and tender like you're going to eat it. I like to steam them after I cut them in half. They can steam a lot faster, so I'm going to take my knife right here and I'm going to go right through the middle and cut them in half like that. We're going to take these and put them on a steamer. Now you can do this on your range top. You can do it on a grill. If you got a good pan that'll work in the grill, you just got to steam them for 20 or 30 minutes. Looks like we're only fitting 3 today. To add to the aioli that we're going to be dipping these artichokes in, we got a couple ingredients we want to prep ahead of time. I got onion, I got some garlic. Just going to take this onion, just so it kind of tenderizes. We're going to do something, I mean, kind of like a confit, but it's not going to go that far. We're just going to take some of this onion, we're going to wrap it in a foil packet. Some of the garlic, we'll wrap it in a foil packet. We're just going to throw it on the grill. It's going to tenderize all of it. So when we put everything together for our aioli, we get a little bit of that tender onion and that tender garlic mixed in with it. Probably good enough. Wrap that all together. Onions have a lot of moisture in them, so they're going to kind of steam themselves. And then we'll do the same thing with some garlic. Let's get some whole peeled garlic cloves. Soak them down with oil. We're going to put both these on the grill, probably 20-30 minutes just till they tenderize. Now you don't just have to wait around while those artichokes are being steamed. There's a couple things we can do to go ahead and prep ahead of time, get all this ready. So one thing is, once they're steamed, we're gonna clean them out, we're gonna put them back on the grill, get some beautiful grill marks on them. We gotta have something that we're gonna baste them with just to add some extra flavor. Once everything's all said and done, you'd normally wanna dip those in something. So we're making a spicy tomato aioli today that we're gonna dip those artichoke hearts in, and man, it is gonna be absolutely outstanding. So first and foremost, I'm just gonna get my basting stuff done. So I'm gonna mix about half a stick of butter. I prefer Kerrygold butter. It's got a higher fat content. It sticks to things a little bit more. It doesn't have the oils that some of the cheaper butters have in them. Putting that in a mixing cup. And then I'm gonna do equal parts lemon juice and equal parts white wine. You can do this with other things. It doesn't have to be white wine. I've done it with tequila before. I've done it with vodka before. I kind of like the alcohol side of it. It adds just a little bit of an edge to it. But just throw some white wine in there. This is not exact science. If you prefer one flavor over the other, that's completely fine. Come in here, I just break up the butter a little bit. We're gonna let this melt on the grill. This is gonna be our basting material. Up next, we're gonna go ahead and make our aioli sauce. So there's a couple different variations of this. I've gone ahead and pre-mixed this, but what I have in here is about a teaspoon of ancho chili pepper, about a teaspoon of chipotle pepper, about a teaspoon of smoked paprika, a teaspoon of kosher salt, about 4 or 5 sun-dried tomatoes, 2 cups of mayonnaise, a little bit of olive oil, some lemon juice, and a little bit of red wine. We're gonna put all this in this blender right here and blend it all up until it's nice and solid. And start off with your wet ingredients. Come in with your dry ingredients. Try not to make nearly the mess that I'm making. And finish off with just a little bit of red wine vinegar. And now we blend. We're gonna check the artichokes now. They should be about done. Oh yeah. You can see they're tender with a probe. I can go all the way through them. They're perfect. Bring those back. Look how pretty that is. Got some good color on them, you're getting good separation. We're gonna let those cool for a couple minutes, then we're gonna kind of cut out all the stickers on the inside, put them back on the grill, get some beautiful color. We'll check our garlic and onions at that point as well, make sure our basting material is getting all nice and loose and warmed up. We're about ready to get this thing done. All right, this is good and blended now. So that is absolutely ready for us when these artichokes are done. But in the meantime, we got the artichokes off the grill. Now we got to clean out the reason why they call these things artichokes, which is the stickers. And that's this section in here. So if we can get a close up there, all these little spiny things, that's what's gonna stick in the back of your throat and make you choke. So we're just gonna come in with a spoon here, and we wanna take all of those stickers out on with the middle section. They come out pretty easy. You don't have to dig too hard for them. If you dig too deep, you're gonna end up cutting into the artichoke heart, and that's the part you wanna eat. So you don't wanna dig too deep on it. That one's good. Come back in. A spoon is the best way I've found to do this, because it kind of slides right out. Those are nice and clean. All right, so these are gonna go directly on the grill now. We got our basting material over there, which is that butter, lemon juice, and white wine. We don't need to season it or anything. The seasoning is all gonna come from the sauce that we're dipping it in. So let's get these things over on the grill. I'm gonna start them face up so I can get a little bit of that white wine mixture poured into them. Now, if you have a basting brush, that's a great way to do that too. I don't have one handy, so we're just gonna pour some butter into the fire and see what happens, right? All right, these are gonna go for probably about a minute or two. Then I'm gonna flip. I'm just gonna kind of keep flipping them until I get those nice kind of charred edges on it. Every time I flip them, I'll do another little base with that butter and that oil, and I'll try to kind of take my tongs and separate some of the layers in there and get that butter and that oil mixed in as well. That's just gonna add all that flavor when we go to eat these things. All right, now that we got that all blended up, now's where I want to add my confit garlic and my onions. If you zoom in on that, this is absolutely gorgeous. You can see we got nice brown roasted garlic color on there. We got a wonderful caramelization on the onions. We're going to add some of these to this mix and blend that into it. Come on, buddy. Not a real exact science of how many, it really just goes by flavor. If you like more onion, add more onion. If you like more garlic, add more garlic. Okay. And then we will blend those in to get all that extra flavor in there. Right, so we've flipped these a couple times. Wanted to make sure we got some nice black char on them, which you can see. We kept basting them with our awesome basting fluid. I mean, you'll see some of that coming out right there. All I'm really looking for is color here, guys. You want to get that smoke flavor. You want to get those tendrils kind of pulling back, and you want to get that separation because that's what makes it so good when you go to eat the heart. So we're going to move these over to the cutting board. I'm super excited about these. You guys saw how easy that was to do. It's a few steps, it's a little involved, but it's nothing really hard. And you end up with just an amazing kind of flavor bomb of artichoke, of butter, of white wine. You're gonna have some spicy tomato in this aioli that we made. It's absolutely killer. The only thing we gotta do now is wait because these are a little hot coming off the grill. So, I mean, luckily, we're well prepared to wait for a little bit and just make sure we, you know, let these things rest the way they need to. That's the benefit of having cups like this around. Yes, they work so well. Now the best part of the whole thing, we get to eat it. Pull off those tendrils. This spicy tomato aioli. So good. One of the fun things about artichokes is it takes you a while to eat, which I know that sounds weird, but for an appetizer when you're sharing it with friends or family, it's kind of fun for everyone to just have it in front of them. It lasts for 10 or 15 minutes because you're just slowly eating. Scraping that little bit of meat off. It's kind of like having a big barbecue platter and everyone dives in. It's so good. The butter and the wine just elevate this whole thing right here to a whole new level. That tomato aioli, it's killer. It's real heavy in the tomato. If you don't like as much tomato, you can add some more mayonnaise and some more lemon juice and it'll thin it out a little bit, but the spiciness of the peppers is just really earthy and it mixes so well with artichoke. You could sit here and eat that whole thing. The neat thing is, as long as you got the stove space to be able to steam a bunch of these, you can fit tons of them on the grill. You can do it as an appetizer for your guests. It's really good. Also, the best part of it for me is it's really kind of light and summery, which when it's hot out, you don't want to be on the grill for a long time, so you can get some of this stuff done at the house. You sear it off on the grill for 5 or 10 minutes. It makes the perfect summer vegetable, and it's super pretty, so you just add it to a plate. Wonderful. Guys, I hope you give this a shot. Grill all your veggies. Try something new. Try a new technique. There's so many different options you can do when you start mixing and matching flavors like this. It doesn't have to be the same, you know, garlic, lemon aioli, the same veggies you're used to. Try something new, try something different, and enjoy it. That's what grilling's for. We're having a great summer out here at the grill. Thanks for being here.